The car that I'm driving is 2025 Volkswagen Golf, and this car since 1974 is in Volkswagen production line. Actually is the best selling Volkswagen product of all time. And during this time, they sold over 37 millions of these cars with different versions and variants. But today I chose this car to review, and I'm gonna start with the engine. Let's review the engine first. So let's start this review with the engine of this car. This is EA211 Evo 2. This is the new generation of Volkswagen engines. It has a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder with 116 horsepower according to Volkswagen. It has two normal engine and two hybrid version as well, exactly with 115 or 116 horsepower and 150 horsepower for normal and both for hybrid version. And if you want or if you look for a stronger engine, you have to just go for Golf GTI and Golf R. But this engine has some pros and it has some cons. The pros is very smooth, is very quiet, especially inside the city, and it is very fuel efficient. But the negative side, which worries me a lot, especially for durability, is to my eyes is four things. First, this engine has turbocharged engine and direct injection system. This combination is not good for durability. Especially you have to be careful about changing the oil. And if you regularly changing the oil, you don't face that much problem with turbocharge. But otherwise, you will face a lot of problems, especially with direct injection. You will face on a higher mileage, you will face tons of carbon buildup, and you have to be careful a lot. The second point is the system that called ACT, which is quite problematic, I can say, because when you stop the car, it shuts off two-cylinder and the other two will work, and it causes some problems, especially the cylinder wear is uneven. It's not the same. Two cylinders wear more, two cylinders wear less, and it's not optimal for durability in a long run. The third problem that I have with this new Volkswagen engine is timing belt that called wet belt, and designed inside the engine, and it will lubricate with the engine oil. And this actually makes the changing oil so necessary and so crucial, especially regularly. I talk about it in other videos. I highly recommend to change the oil every 5,000 kilometers or every 3,000 miles if you wanna keep the car for a long time, more than 5 or 10 years. If you want to drive this car smoothly without any problem, change your oil frequently. The other problem, the fourth problem that I have, is excessive use of plastic. Everything that you see here is plastic. Intake manifold, water pump, and many other components, especially for turbos, the turbo hoses and other stuff. Everything is plastic, and the quality of the plastic, to my eyes, are not that much good. You know, on average, it's not bad, it's not that much good, it's in the middle. And that worries me a lot, because in a long run, this car will sell all around the world in very hot weather and very cold weather. In severe condition, it will face a lot of problems, and this plastic will break down, or you will face a lot of leaks and other things. Another thing that's worth to mention is that, for example, making the maintenance a little bit difficult. This is, for example, is air filter. You can easily put clamps here, but instead of that, you have to just open so many screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 screws for just air filter, for example. Make the maintenance so difficult. It has some problems, to my eyes, for durability. So this is the exterior of 2025 Volkswagen Golf. They call it 8.5 generation. This is 8th generation with new facelift. And if you look at, or if you compare this generation with the last generation, we have a little bit tighter or aggressive headlights. And for the other variants, we have illuminated Volkswagen Golf and grille as well. The whole design of the car, especially in the front, is conservative and standard. If you look at the lines on the hood, here and here, these two lines is so elegant, it's so be proven. The bumper, everything is so designed well, to my opinion. However, there are some negative points to this design as well. If you look at here, which standard, if you look at in the standard version, there is a radar sensor here and the sensors here, but the point is here is so empty. There is nothing here, you know. If you drive it through, for example, in Autobahn or highway, you will see the small stones can easily hurt the radiator and the other components. See, it's so empty. I don't know why. They could be at least just a small net, a black net or something like this. They could easily do something there, but they try to do nothing, or that was, I think, intentionally. But it is the negative point for durability of the car, and the radiators and these components are not cheap as well. But the whole point, as I told you, is so standard, so elegant, and so beautifully designed, except for the lower part. So moving to the side, we have that elegant design on the side as well. There's not too much changes in compared to the last generation. We have two lines just parallel, start from the front of the car till the end. Everything is simple but effective. And for the side, I have two things to show you. First, we have to just make sure the panel gaps and how well built this car is. Normally it depends on the manufacturers, but normally 3mm is the best, 5mm is the worst, and the Lexus or the high luxury lines or high luxury manufacturers always try to keep the panel gaps around 3mm. And let's see how well built this car. From the front, we have 3mm, which is really good, but at the end of the hood or bonnet, we have 4mm. 3, 4. Here we have again 3. Here this gap we cannot, because there is a plastic cover to for sound isolation, I think. But at the end we have here again 3. It is really good. 3, 4, 3, and 3. It is well built. And the second test, we have to just cover the paint thickness. The more or the thicker the paint is, the quality of paint and the durability of the paint is higher. As you see, normally the cars or the economy cars like Volkswagen Golf start from 90mm and upward, 90 to 120, and for luxury cars it's go above 120, 130. Let's check this paint color to see what's exactly this paint is. 114, 120, 81, 147, 101. It's acceptable, it's okay. It's between 100 to 120 on average. It's okay, and it's for economy car, is relatively good. Let's move on to the back of the car and see what is the difference between this generation and the last generation. So on the back side of the 2025 Volkswagen Golf 8.5 generation, or let's say the facelift version of the 8th generation, we have the tail lights. It's a little bit more aggressive, and it's more beautiful to my eyes. Everything is so conservative, everything is well deserved, not that much change in compared to the last generation. We get rid of this fake exhaust stuff here. Everything now is so simple. Everything is elegant. I think they listen in compare to the other manufacturers. And the good news is here we have the back bumper, and I think this is the new trend in automotive industry, that they don't have any back bumper. As long as you hit the back of the car, the bumper and the door, both of them, they will be damaged. But here we have everything in a very conservative size, very in standard size, and everything working perfect. So let's check inside the trunk or boot. It has 381 liters of capacity. It is standard. It's not the best in this economy part. There are some competitors are doing way better, and there are some competitors are doing a little bit less better. For example, Corolla and Mercedes A-Class has less capacity compared to this car. But here is the good point. It has a great storage part underneath here, and if you need to take something out from two hands, you can easily do this, because the design of this board is really interesting, and you can do whatever you like. And if you don't like it, just hit it here. Everything is slightly flat, and it's really good for carrying the heavy luggages and this kind of stuff. And if you want, you can just bend the seat and make the capacity even bigger. Let me show you how you can do it. It's so easy. It's really good. We have to just take this out. Here is easy. And the good point is that this seat belts are designed very well to not actually bother you when you are folding the seats. And here as well, as you see, you have a great capacity for your trunk or for your boot. It is really great. It is relatively flat, and you can just slide your luggage inside the car. Everything is fine, and everything is standard and so conservative. They're really well thought. And the good point is that here we have a 12-volt socket for example, for vacuuming your back of your trunk. And we have here hook, here again hook. Everything is standard. The boot is great. So this is the trunk, and let's see what's going on behind the wheel. Let's start the review of the interior with the seat. The seat itself looks sporty, but it is comfortable. When you sit here, especially with this material, are really great, and they don't make you uncomfortable in a long trip. Moving to the left side, we have side mirror, which position great. The visibility is easy. Some side mirrors are strange, and some of them make the visibility not that much easy for yourself, but this one is standard, is really great. The A-pillar or column or frame of the car is not that much thick to blind you, and made with cheap material, with cheap plastic, which is acceptable for economy car in this level. And if you look at the interior of the car, especially in the economy part or economy segment, we have actually two types of material normally they use. One, the upward part, which is the door handle and above, and the lower part, the door handle and armrest and downward materials, which is two different materials. The upward part, which is visible, they try to build with the better materials, with soft plastic. As you see here on the dashboard, you see soft plastic. Looks premium, but it's not. And the door handle itself is really clean, sturdy. In a long run, maybe you will face some damages or some scratches on this door handle. And we have 4 power windows, which is great. And above that, we have side mirror adjustment knob that you can easily adjust your side mirrors. The armrest itself made of artificial leather, which is soft, which is great to rest your arm. Everything from the upper part is acceptable. It looks okay, but the down part is totally different, made with cheap plastic materials. As you hear, yeah, here it is not that much great. In the center console as well, everything made with a cheap plastic one. But moving on to the steering wheel, it looks premium. It is really nice. And the digital cluster, which is 10-inch digital cluster, is really bright. You don't have any problem, even in sunny days, in summer, for visibility. Everything is fine. On the left side, you have some touch or semi button for adjusting your light. And the digital cluster itself has so many features. You can easily navigate them through these buttons on a steering wheel. The good point about this generation or this facelift is that they bring back the real buttons on a steering wheel, which is really great. I really appreciate that. For the last generation, these buttons were touch or semi-touch, which is really pain in the ass while driving or while you wanted to navigate through the infotainment or the digital cluster. This one, we have real buttons here. Everything is fine. For this lower trim, we don't have any navigation or sat nav on the digital cluster, but with upper trims, you will definitely have this navigation. But even with this lower trim, everything is standard. You have lane assist, drive assist. You can change the view of the digital cluster, which is not that much fancy like luxury or higher trim levels, but it is good to have. Moving on to the infotainment system and center console, we have some pros and cons. The pros is that we have now for this generation bigger infotainment system screen, which is 10.2, and with higher level you can upgrade it to 12-inch and above. The infotainment system itself is so responsive. It gets the job done way better than the last generation, faster, more responsive, brighter. Everything looks great. But the cons of this infotainment system is the HVAC buttons, which is touch, and it is really distracting you from doing just so many easy jobs. Imagine you are driving the car in highway and you have to just navigate through the infotainment system for HVAC. And another important point is that this car will sell internationally. In severe conditions, in very hot weathers and cold weathers, this touch system and this infotainment system will face tons of problem or cause tons of problem for the owner of the car. Why you don't use just a normal buttons like everybody else that really works in any condition, in any country, and easy to use. On the lower part, we have the air vents. The lower part, again, we have two USB-C for charging your cell phone. And if you look at the place of your cell phone, it has a small vent there to cool down your cell phone while you're charging your cell phone. In the middle, we have start-stop button. Then we have the 6-speed manual transmission for this trim. Behind that, we have parking brake and auto hold, which is great, especially for heavy traffic. We have the cup holders, which is adjustable. It's great to hold your cup in any size. And the armrest in the center console, which is adjustable, is really nice and make the shift so easy. Another point that worth mentioning is that the stick shift itself is small, well built, and make the shift so easy and smooth, and it is really nice. As I mentioned, the interior of the car is standard and well thought and conservative as well. Everything that you see here, they actually try and error for many years, and they came up with this gold standard in economy segment. Two things that worth mentioning. First, if you look at the infotainment system and digital cluster and center console itself, you see all of them has a little bit angle toward the driver's side, and it is great for visibility of the driver, but on the passenger side, it is not that much great, especially when they want to use the HVAC control. And the second point is that this infotainment system is like afterthought. It is actually a new trend in automotive industry, but it is not that much beautiful. If you see that the whole dashboard, everything is in its own place, everything is well thought, but the infotainment system is like an extra tablet or extra just a screen they attach to the dashboard. If you remember 10 or 20 years ago, the whole automotive industry, they had to just cut the dashboard very well, very nice, and make a great place for the infotainment system and these big screen, but the whole industry has changed. Moving on to the back of the car, and if you look carefully, the knee room and headroom is not that much great. I'm 178 centimeter or 5'10", and for sure those who are taller than me will face tons of problems. And if you look at the middle of the car in the back, we have a small hump there and make that middle seat uncomfortable for a long trip. For a short trip, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's okay, but for a long trip, it is actually very hurtful. And if you look at the window, you will see that the window doesn't go all the way down, but overall the look of the car when you sit in the back is not that much dull or dingy, although the back window is made a little bit black, but the whole visibility of the car for the person who sits in the back of the car is good. It's not a bad place to be. So let's drive the car inside the city and see how it drives. So what I really like about this car is the driving this car, especially inside the city, is effortless. It's so smooth. It's great to drive. It's great to be in this car, especially inside the town. And for lower speed, it's amazing. It's great to maneuver. It's great to drive this car. And it's small. You can easily park this car. You can easily drive this car, even with the narrow streets like Europe. And there are nothing to complain about this car, especially inside the city. And especially with this infotainment system and the radar system or the helping system or driving assist. And it is so smooth, it is so enjoyable. It handles very good and very great on the bumps. And if you go there, you don't even feel it. It's so smooth. They actually upgraded this steering wheel and the suspension system in front and in the back and make it so smooth, so great to be here to drive, especially inside the city. The one negative point, which is so small, but I have to mention, is clutch pedal, especially for this 6-speed manual transmission. The first 5 minutes when the car especially is cold, you have a little bit problem with the clutch pedal. And I don't know why is that, but when it's not that much smooth, let's say from 100%, it's 80 or 90%, especially for the first and second gear. When you don't remove or release the clutch pedal, especially in the first and second gear, you will face with shake and you will face with some hit you a little bit or hit the car, and it's not that much smooth. After 5 minutes or 10 minutes when the car warms up, I think it's way better. Still, on upper gears like third and fourth gear, you have to just be careful about changing gears. You cannot release the clutch pedal so easy or so fast as you think, but the point is that you have to just be careful a little bit more with the clutch pedal. So right now we are driving in Autobahn, German Autobahn, and the first thing that I realized so fast is a little bit of engine noise and wind noise. Actually, it is economy car. There is no expectation to have a very luxurious kind of feeling, so smooth, so quiet. No, it's not that much quiet. You hear obviously and vividly the wind noise and a little bit of engine noise. But the great point is that, I don't know, it's a strange point or something, I hear some noise from here, the side mirrors especially. It has some whistle noise, I think, but other than that, everything is okay, everything is great. Especially with this engine, it is the lower trim engine. As I mentioned, 1.5 liter TSI 4-cylinder with 116 horsepower. It is great. With 120 kilometers per hour, it works fine. Everything is smooth, everything is even manageable for driving or changing your lane and coming to the higher lanes and everything. Everything is smooth. As you see, I changed the lane smooth past the cars, but still I hear vividly the wind noise, especially from the side mirrors and the engine noise. So another point that I should mention, especially at higher speed, I'm driving around 140 kilometers. The sound of the tires is too much right now. After 130 till 120, 130, you can't even hear that. But after 140, the tire noise, wind noise, engine noise is too much. And it shows that this engine is not that much powerful. I highly recommend, at the end of the video, I will suggest you which trim and which engine is better. But this car for Autobahn till 120, 130 is perfect. After that, 140, 50, you will hear a lot of noise, especially for tires, wind noise, engine sound, everything. So what is my final verdict about this car? I give this car 7.5 out of 10. I mentioned so many problems with this car, especially with the engine and durability of this car. For example, the turbo and direct injection is not a good combination for durability. The ACT system makes the cylinder wear uneven. Another one was that wet belt inside the engine, which is, to my eyes, it's a little bit, they could do better, do simple chain, and this is extra cost, and you have to be careful about changing oil regularly. We mentioned this front part, especially the lower part, they could cover the front part way better. You can easily damage your radiator and the lower part of the engine. The clutch pedal is not that much great to my eyes, especially the first 10 minutes when the car is cold. You should be very careful to not jump. To my eyes, I think this is my idea. And after 10 minutes, you have still the fear, especially on upper gears. In third and fourth gear, you feel that you are not that much comfortable with that clutch pedal. But that was the problem. The other thing is that this car is built for a city. We know is a small, is great car inside the city, but the outside of the city, after 120 kilometers and 130 kilometers, you hear tons of sound and noise, especially tire noise, wind noise, engine noise, and it's not built for the Autobahn or highway. If you want to travel with this car more often, I don't recommend this car. But do I recommend in general Volkswagen Golf with this engine? Absolutely not. I recommend you to buy the Volkswagen Golf with 150 horsepower. It has enough horsepower inside the city and outside of the city. Inside the city, you will face with more fuel consumption, I can say. But outside of the city, it has enough power to drive smoothly without any problem. But the main problem again is with the pricing of this car. This car in Germany starts from 28,850 euros. This is the base model. But with upper trims, you will end up, for example, Golf R Black Edition, which is the highest end of Volkswagen Golf, around 59,000 euros. Can you believe that? It's unbelievable. For a Golf R Black Edition, you have to pay around 60,000 euros in 2025. It's unbelievable. But the point is that the Audi A3, which is Audi, and A3 is the same size, start at 32,000 euros. And if you go, for example, for Volkswagen Golf, another trim, it starts around 35,000 euros. But in that area, in that budget, you have to ask question, why I should buy Volkswagen instead of Audi A3. At least it is Audi. The sound or isolation is way better. It's more luxurious. It doesn't make sense to me, to my eyes, it doesn't make sense to buy this car for 35,000 euros with this trim, with maybe 150 horsepower and other options, instead of Audi A3. And that's my point. 7.5 out of 10 with this problem. Still a great car, still the design standard, driving standard, the seats very great, still everything is relevant, everything is working perfect. This was my first review on my channel. If you want to see more car reviews like this, please drop a comment below. I know I maybe have so many problems with this first video. I just want to hear from you. You have criticized or suggestion or anything else, I'm really happy to hear that. Drop a comment below. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if I deliver something of value, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like, you can share this video with the others as well. Thank you very much for watching this video till the end, and I will catch you up in the next video. Thanks.